Alright, close. Man, I don't talk to people on this motherfucker. I talk at people. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? People will be talking. People will be talking with people on some bullshit. Whereas people who be talking at people, they be on that aggression tip. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different. It's a little different. Some of us are getting shit off our chest. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's that holiday season. Yeah, it has been. It has been for a minute. We're in 1227. I myself am born on the 30th. So, me and my brother actually, 5 years apart, same day. There's actually a bunch of us in my family. It's just like pretty much my family 9 months prior to the month of December. That's when my family is doing all their fucking. Because we just have shitloads of birthdays all through the month of December into early January. So I don't know what month it is, but 9 months prior, what's that like? January, so 9 months prior would be like March, I guess, right? March, I think that's right. March, that spring, they get that spring, they get that chipmunk fever. You know what I mean? Next thing you know, they're doing the bad thing on the good foot, or trying to do the good thing on the bad foot. I don't know. There's a colloquialism in there somewhere. I'm pretty sure. Um, anyway, I'm waiting for my computer to reset. It's been at 62% for about, I don't know, 45 minutes now, I feel like. But I don't want to I don't want to like cancel, because then it doesn't reset at all. And there's been fuckery afoot with my computers. Like, randomly just stopped letting me go to Pornhub. I mean, what's up with that, right? I'm fucking 40. I'm gonna be 42 on the 30th, and all of a sudden, and there's no, like, I didn't change any settings. I didn't do anything to my fucking shit. All of a sudden, it just stopped me from going to the motherfucking Pornhub, which is fine. You know, I probably spend too much time looking at tits and ass, but it's just the fact that people are somebody's fucking with my system such that they're making it so I can't go places. Another website I haven't been able to get to, anything that has to do with my finances. Just can't seem to access any pages that are have to do with banking, uh, or even the bullshit banking. Like, what's the ones where you get, like, they give you the bullshit stocks and the fucking Bitcoin you can trade and shit, like Coinbase. Like, yeah, you can't get to Coinbase, can't get to Oz. You know what I'm saying? Not with that attitude. You know, fucking the Munchkins, they'll shut you down. They'd be like, "What the fuck, dude?" So, I don't know, but I don't appreciate it. You know, I don't go around just fucking with other people's shit. Um, I guess there's something people get out of that, like, ooh, yeah, they're never gonna know it's me, and I've caused them inconvenience. Dream bigger, first of all. That'd be the first thing I'd say, is dream bigger. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be anonymously causing people inconvenience? You're a speed bump, dude. Like, dream bigger. Okay? You, I'm sure you can accomplish way bigger things than just inconveniencing strangers, randomly throughout your perusing of the interwebs. You motherfucking. That's a problem. That's a problem with all these people, these scammers and these hackers, right? They got no creative fucking nothing going on up here. They got no creativity. You know why? Because they got a fucking the scam from some other scamming asshole, right? They just passing down the same bullshit, next one to the next one, next one. And I'll give it to you. There's a lot of stupid people. You could probably work the same grift on, probably forever. And you always find some sap that'll fall for it, right? But but I myself prefer to color outside the lines. And it just seems sad to me how many people are just, you know, uh, they're just quick to jump for the low hanging fruit these scammers, you know. At least the Nigerians, you know, they got they got like a whole style to their shit. You know, they're trying to make you fall in love with them and shit. Send like that consistent paper, which is harder to pull off. You know, more respect from me anyway, because you know to keep somebody strung along for multiple payments, I mean that's a better scammer than the guy who just gets you once on some low hanging fruit shit. Like, oh shit, I clicked the link and now they're in my fucking shit. Oh, okay, I'm gonna get reimbursed for it, but they're gonna get like 30 or 50 bucks or whatever they can charge, you know, that's in my account real quick. And I'll report it as fraud. They'll agree. I'll get my money. But you know what I mean? Like you're taking like time out of my day. You're not really taking money out of my pocket. And okay, yeah, you got away with 50 bucks. What, 10, 60? But come on, man. Like I said, dream bigger. You know, like you know what? You know what my stepdad told me when I was a fucking teenager. He said, "Listen, if you're gonna steal something big, because at a certain point the punishment is the same, regardless." And I was like, "What do you mean? Like, there's. I mean, if you steal $10, it's not the same punishment as if you steal fucking 10,000." He was like, "Yeah, but at a certain point, if you go for 10 million or 10 billion, the punishment really isn't that much difference between 10 mil and 10 bill. So if you're gonna steal 10 billion. Don't fuck around and steal 10 million. You're wasting your damn time." You know what I mean? That was my stepdad telling me that as a teenager. I mean, I don't know, you know, how you're supposed to wrap your head around such a thing when you're already like a bad kid, quote unquote, trying to keep from getting suspended. Yeah, no, I agree with you. Don't steal it all. Dude, I agree with you. I'm just saying, as a teenager who was, you know, a bad kid and kind of stealing shit, you know, that was his way of making me realize that I was fucking doing dumb shit. And clearly, I wasn't gonna steal 10 bill, turn around and then go try to steal 10 billion. But it made me realize that I needed to stop stealing the dumb shit that I was, because I'm gonna just get in trouble for fucking retarded stuff. How was I a bad kid? Oh, you want to know about my history? You want to know about my well, you gonna have, yeah, that's a secret, right? You gonna have to see me face to face if you want to hear stories from my my youthful indiscretions, as it were. Um, that ain't something I'm willing to just air out to everybody here, you know. Plus, allegedly, everything I say, just for the sake of conversation, is an alleged story that is probably a fiction and based in some sort of creative space in my head and not really rooted in factuality or this reality at all. Okay? Now that we've gotten that out of the way, I don't know. I did random shit. You know what I mean? I was like, I was just a troublemaker. I liked making people laugh. You know, so I was always getting in trouble in school because I was not concerned with what the fuck was going on with the teacher. I was concerned with making everybody in the classroom laugh because I felt like, you know, it was like having a stage where the audience is kind of trapped with you, and the teacher's boring. So I just kind of, you know, seized the day, as it were. Carpe diem that shit, yo. And they didn't see it that way. They saw it more like I was taking away from other people who were trying to learn. Who's trying to learn? Point them out to me, because I mean that's me as like a kid. You know, I was like, I didn't think anybody was in. Is somebody actually trying to learn this shit? This fucking algebra stuff? What? Who? Where? Oh, the nerds. Shit, I forgot about the nerds. They're always quiet. You can easily overlook them, you know. So, or at least that's how I felt back then. You know. Nowadays, I think I am one of the nerds. So it's weird how that goes. You know, full circle and shit. But yeah, I didn't really have a whole plan for what to talk about. So if anybody wants to ask any questions, I'm gonna open it to the Q&A on this motherfucker, because frankly, otherwise it's music and me doing my own version of Bob Ross type stuff but it's not like Bob Ross at all, really, because Bob Ross was like doing pastoral settings and shit. How's my life? Well, my life is pretty fucking awesome. How's your life? I mean, I'm grateful every day to be alive. I thank the universe for my blessings. You know, I got all my fingers and all my toes. I'm relatively decently able. I'm handy capable. So, I mean, uh, I'm grateful for that. You know, I got some friends that weren't so lucky in the war, and, you know, life could be a lot worse. So, that's how I feel about my life. Very grateful. And I feel blessed. And, you know, I'm trying to settle a debate, or not a debate, but like one, I have an ongoing thing with a friend of mine about if it's easier to make money, or if it's not easier, I guess, but like if you're able to make money without involving sex on these online subscriptions, those are all just about people who want to get nudes. You know, I suspect it's people that want to get nudes, but you know, that's just me, you know, in this over sexualized culture that shames people at the same time then for sexuality. It's weird. I don't really understand it. I blame the Christians for that. And if you're Christian and you take offense to that, don't worry. I hate everybody equally. There's no racism here or religiosity that's somehow, you know, discriminatory. I hate humans in general. Like, I think we are probably one of the most reprehensible species to ever walk the surface of this planet. So, it's not personal. But, yeah. So that's how I feel about that. How's everybody's holiday going so far? I don't know what is it. It's the 27th, so it's 2 days after Christmas. We got New Year's coming up on the 31st. First, nobody cares about my birthday because it's just in the way. It's one of the days of rest for most people. Like, oh, it's the 30th. Thank God we got another. We could take it easy for another day before we gotta be, you know, down at the booth or in line at the place and the thing with the people. Make sure you get, don't drink and drive, motherfuckers. That's always a bad idea. Anybody who think that is a good idea is a fucking idiot. Especially in this day and age when there's Uber and there's like a million different ways to not drink and drive. So anybody doing that in this day and age, I feel like you're kind of an asshole. You know? It's all about your bad luck. Does anybody know anything about rocks out there? Like any geologists by chance or gemologists of any kind? Because I'm pretty sure we could make each other some money based off of the weird volcanic glacial moraine deposit conglomerate rock fuckery I got going on in my yard. No, the only thing I'm missing is a kimberlite tube. Straight up, I've got all the kimberlites. You know what I mean? I got rocks that look like they got gold ore in them too. Yeah. You're not supposed to tell people shit like that, but I don't give a fuck. Come kill me. I mean, not. I mean, unalive me. What are they? But you're not allowed to say certain words on here, right? Well, there goes the monetization. I meant it facetiously anyway. You know what I mean? Obviously, I don't want anybody to come and do me harm. Come on, those ridiculous people. It takes everything so literally these days. Nobody's got a sense of humor. Well, I did get these sweet headphones over the holidays. These JBL noise canceling wireless headphones. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet indeed. And then this is, of course, I got the epic level. You know, if you're familiar with video games, role-playing games, this is the Star, you know, epic set of weed smoking paraphernalia. So there's that. I achieved that. in this simulation. So put that in your non-epic bong and smoke it. He's a cosmonaut or an astro, probably an astronaut, because dro, you know what I mean? That's weed. So astro, not like it's the 90s when we people used to do that. They'd be like, say not right at the end of something, thinking like that was cool. We were stupid. Oh man. By the way, I just want to get this out of the way. I claim Gen X. I'm 42. I'm a cuspy motherfucker. I grew up without the internet as a child. I have way less in common with millennials than I do with Gen X. My parents didn't know where the fuck we were. That we were supposed to leave and then come back once the lights came on, the street lights came back on because it was getting dark. Then you're supposed to come back, and if someone's parent had to holler for you, you're fucked. You're about to get in trouble, get an ass whooping. Because back then we used to get ass whoopings. You know what I mean? And yeah, and then yeah, man. If you're that late, if you're too late, if you're that late for dinner, fuck, man, they might just give your food away. You end up with no plate, you know, or you get the cold meal that's left over from like the day before because they got to impress upon you that it's a privilege to be able to eat the new hot meal that your mother or father has prepared for you. You ingrate, you know. Nowadays people get sensitive. You tell them they're entitled. In my day, it was like that was you were getting told you were entitled, fucking all the time, and that was your problem. That was your fault. No matter what you did, you were an entitled piece of shit. And it's like, really, I'm an entitled, but you're my fucking parent. How does that work? How does that? You're gonna give me shit about being entitled, but isn't that kind of like your responsibility to not allow me to become that way? Or maybe you teach me not to be that way. I mean, you're just like I'm a child still. You're absolving yourself of any responsibility to train me not to be entitled. I don't know. Just seems odd to me. And I'm not a parent, so I mean, what the fuck do I know? But it always struck me as odd, you know, as far as the strange and unusual things I come across in my day-to-day travels, which is a lot of shit. I'm also working on another painting. Hold on. If anybody gives a fuck. Nowadays, life is getting weird. Jobs are impossible. No honor. I agree. There are some qualities that seem to have been laid by the wayside as time has progressed. Honor being one of them. Truth. Like, what the fuck is true anymore? Like, just even on the internet. Like, I don't. I got. I use. I'm. I don't know if you can see. This is only. This is a really small bookshelf. Out of all, I have a lot of books, and that's kind of how I do shit, man. I'm going the other direction. I'm not going digital, analog, going back analog, and I recommend that to anybody else because there's one thing I know. It's that this little crackerjack system of digital shit is going to fail eventually. We're gonna either get a mass coronal ejection, or a meteor strike, or an asteroid, or the government's just gonna fuck it up, or an EMP. There's so many different ways that the grid goes down. Even if we don't have a cataclysmic, apocalyptic end, we could still go back to the Stone Age, fucking a number of different ways. Um, and so I think books are a good investment for, paperback. I know the hardcover ones are expensive, but paperback books, good investment, especially if it's any kind of textbook or like how to or DIY type, thing that teaches you how to do something so that you don't have to call a guy to do it. Good investment, worth your while, because you won't be able to go to YouTube because that won't fucking work anymore, will it? Once the stupid electromagnetic bullshit and this whole fuck, you know, and that's a whole different frustration. Just how little people know about electricity and magnetism. I'm working on a prototype. I can't talk about it because last time I did, my technology got stolen by the company that was supposed to help me get a patent. Go figure. Yes, I am indeed naive. I want to talk about this weird jobs thing, though. Give me an example of a weird job. Alif Lamim, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Um, yeah, I'd love to get some examples of weird jobs. Like, what? Like, what's a weird job to you? Like, um, like a wet nurse. That could be a weird job, right? Or Alif Alam. Oh, okay. Pardon me. My bad. I just like it went right. It just in my head. I don't know. I sorry. I didn't mean. I apologies. Elephant poop cleaner. That's it. Well, I guess that would be a job because elephants probably shit a lot. I imagine there's a lot. Well, would you clean the poop or wouldn't you just like use that as some fertilizer, like sell it to some farmers or some shit? I mean, some shit. You see what I did there? But yeah, elephant poop cleaner. I guess you clean it from the zoo or wherever the elephant. I assume this poor elephant is not out in the wild. Somebody's chasing him around trying to clean up his poop. So I'm assuming he's in some sort of man-made habitat esque environment that's probably depressing as fuck. Um, so I guess that's nice of the guy to clean up the poop so that you know doesn't get all because they'll get sick. They're just like any other creature. You start living in a bunch of your own filth and shit. Most creatures get sick. Are you previous military? Just curious. I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you. I saw this job on a book, by the way. Really? Wow, there you go. That's a two for two. Third ID. I was armor division. Man, what's the weirdest? Let's see. The weirdest job I ever had was. Well, for me, it was weird being a teacher when I finally became a professor and a teacher. Because I had like imposter syndrome like a motherfucker. This idea was like I kept waiting for somebody else to be able to like stand up and like direct the class. It's like, oh yeah, that's me. I'm the guy. I'm supposed to give out homework assignments and tell these kids when their papers are due and they're not even kids. Some of them are close to my age at that time. I think I was like 26 or 27. The first summer I taught as a professor. Had three classes. I was a science teacher. Oh, cheers. I love my Marines, man. I love me some Marines, man. Talk about just, God, like, diamond in the rough, you know, true as they come, organic fucking dudes who are difficult to kill and can do some remarkable physical fitness shit that would blow your mind. Like I've seen Marines do some wild shit, like like wild, like backflip all the way. Like they had an assignment where they weren't allowed to run, walk, or army crawl, and so these Marines decided to do backflips 250 yards to the pin or whatever, and they did 250 yards of consecutive backflipping. I can't even do one backflip, let alone fucking go 250 yards doing backflips. Like, Jesus Christ. But I also didn't go through Marine boot camp, so. I did go to Fort Knox, though. I mean, it's supposed to be one of the more challenging ones, at least back in the day when I went through. They actually used to beat the shit out of you and waterboard you and shit. Nowadays, I don't. I think you get to like hold up a card. You're like, "This is my yellow card. I'm stressed out. I need to take a break." Like, or they have like some system where you can like tell people you're too stressed, and then the drill sergeants have to leave off you. Right. Drill sergeant. That's got to be a weird job, right? I mean, I didn't ever get to be one, but I've had experience with them, and I feel like that would be a weird job to have. You just gotta treat people like you gotta treat all your soldiers like shit all the time and belittle them and break them down, and then like you're this authoritative figure, but then you're also like these are your guys, you know? Like, you're training these dudes to fucking have your back in combat, essentially. So it's like, you know, you don't want them to hate you, but you do want them to fear you. I don't know. I think it would be a weird job. I guess that's another teaching job, I guess. Teaching is a weird job. My friends that are in the sex work industry, they have some of the best stories, though, in terms of weird jobs. By the way, how you know that? Alif Lamim. My ex-wife is half Syrian, half Lebanese, and I did a year deployed to Iraq. So I spent some time with the Quran. You know, I dabble, but mine I cheated because mine had the translation thing. You know, right next. You know, it was like here's Islam, and then here's the English for it, so you don't have to do it yourself. Tendon inflammation. Yo, have you ever had plantar fasciitis? You want to talk about something that'll just really put a flat in your put a flat in your giddy up there. Oh my God, it's like having somebody shooting a spike through the middle of your foot every step you take. It's crazy. Like, and it like shoots up, especially if you got stress fractures through your shins. For real. Yeah, there's a, you know, not I don't know how real we all want to get on here, but I thought I was dying the first time I had a hemorrhoid. Like literally, I called my mom and I was like, "Mom, I think I'm dying. I don't know. It's my ass." Like, my mother, God bless her, she goes, "Oh, honey, yeah, hemorrhoids. That runs in our family. We get those." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's what this is. That's what this is." Like, she's like, "Yeah, you got to try and push it back up inside your butthole." I'm like, "Mom, stop talking too much." From yeah, right. And isn't it the very first part of the Quran? It's like the very first, and I believe they don't have a specific translation for the Alif Lam, Lam Mim. I know I'm butchering the Arabic. I apologize. Oh hey, my computer's restarting. It was working. See, that's why I didn't cancel out of it, because I'd be right back at step one. Hmm. But yeah, a friend of mine told me that there's no like direct literal translation for that first grouping of the first line. Yeah, right. I mean I have had I think my theory is like what if that's like, and I don't know if I'm not trying to be sacrilegious, but what if that is the name, like a name of God? I mean that wouldn't be like a great I guess it wouldn't be the ideal article to like lead into a sentence grammatically speaking, but I mean if you were to start writing something, I mean usually there's a title page with the author, you know, before you get to the body of work. So it wouldn't be too crazy to think that maybe like the first line is author before the writing ensues. That was just a theory that I had. But you know, what the fuck do I know? I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude who likes to read and makes shitty art that sometimes people pay small amounts of money for because I don't charge a lot for my art. I know it's not very, very it's not very traditionally, what's the word? Good. Uh, to each their own, though, I suppose, right? It's in the eye of the beholder, isn't it? That's the beauty of art. Who wants to talk about like some deep science and electromagnetism stuff? Yeah, something like that. These are alphabets. I believe it's the first one. Oh, okay. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. So wait a minute. Oh, I don't have mine's in the back seated biscuit's car. Fuck. I don't have my. I might have another one. But I think the other Quran that I have is like highly decorative, and I try not to handle it too much, because I feel like I'm gonna break it. You know, I got like I have some Bibles like that too, where it's like I don't even like to touch them because they've got so much like ornate stuff on them. I'm like, you know, like, well, that see that would have been a $50,000 Bible, but you put your greasy mitts all over it, and now it's worth nothing. Book people are kind of like that, you know. They get real anal about how you handle the pages and how old it is and what kind of moisture ratio you keep the books in. I'm probably doing a shitty job taking care of these books. I haven't even got them organized yet. Is it? I have a question. Is there a similarity or a correlation between Greek and Arabic in that, like, there's the alpha and omega, like, you know what I mean? And omega being the last letter in the Greek alphabet, and then alpha being the first. Is there like a thing like that in Arabic? Also, can we all agree that Arabic is the most, and Farsi, Pashtun, some of the most beautifully written languages, like just visually? I mean, like, especially when you get into Farsi and the poetry and how they basically turn the poetry into part of the painting itself, like, amazing. I've seen amazing artwork that is also poetry that I just think that, I mean, look, I was inspired by it. I've got poetry in through the artwork, so you don't know about that exactly. I just thought I'd ask. No big deal. You know, it's I'm gonna go with a lot of questions. I know a whole lot less than I actually I than I want to know about. I guess, but I suppose that's probably good. It's a better way to be than willfully ignorant. You know, which there are people that are like that. We all have met them at Walmart. Just saying, call a spade a spade. Oh my goodness, Arabic calligraphy, beautiful. My friend Azat was taking a class in it, and he did he did this one. I'm trying to make it so you can see it. I know it's got other tattoos around it, so it's harder to read. But my friend Azat, he was taking an Arabic calligraphy course, and so he did this for me. It's my mother's name. So that was one of the, I don't know, maybe that was like the third or fourth tattoo I ever got. I think, yeah, I got covered in them now, but you know, it is what it is. Oh, you like, so you guys, so you like the I'm trying to so what I guess here a little behind the scenes about though what I'm trying to do is give my personalities a space to rapid cycle in, uh, because what I found when I started doing the freestyle, what was I mean, rapid cycle. So normally with the personalities, like in with my mental shit, and everybody's dissociative identity stuff is a little bit, it's not like a cookie cutter thing for everybody. Like, everybody's just a little bit different how it interacts with their mind and how it tends to come on, or what have you. But usually it's a stress related thing. So if you're somebody who does have dissociative identities, or multiple personalities, which they categorize those two differently in psychiatry and psychology. However, for the purpose of this conversation, I would say they're relatively the same thing. So, but people who do have multiples typically aren't cycling through like in and out of personalities, like back to back to back to back to back, like every couple of words or every couple of sentences or every couple of minutes. That's unusual, and I only discovered that to be a thing for myself when I started doing my freestyle rap therapy, because as it turned out, like the rap that I was doing doesn't just come from one personality; it comes from several of them. So uh, when they like they kind of like are the ones that do it are sort of putting their pieces in, like I don't know. So it's like I'll bounce back and forth between a couple different personalities usually, while I'm doing the freestyle rap. But it's like there's like three of them, three or four. Sometimes there's a fourth one that chips in, but not as often. But for the most part, it's usually about three different personalities that work together to do the freestyle and the poetry stuff, that or the improv poetry stuff. Um, so they rapid cycle during that time where I'm bouncing between these personalities all during the freestyle, which is usually about an hour long, and I'll just keep bouncing back in like a ping pong ball. Bing, 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 bing. Otherwise, it's usually like, one personality is driving the vessel, and then if something stressful happens that triggers the dissociation, then the personality that needs to take over to handle the situation will take over, and they'll be running the vessel from there. There's not like a back and forth that really typically goes on, at least for me, that typically goes on in the normal dissociative event. Um, and the freestyle therapy is really that, and yeah, that's really one of the only times where I get dissociative transitions without it being like traumatic for me, as a person. So what I'm trying to do in these dissociative uh, confessions thing is I'm trying to create a space where I don't have to be rapping, but I can allow so that more of the personalities can have a platform to communicate, because like most of them have, I mean, they all have their own like thoughts, opinions, theories, personalities, and some of them are more social than others, but and there's one personality that doesn't talk at all, is a mute. um, but like I'm trying to give them platforms to express themselves, because what I have found in my life is that if I don't find ways for these different personalities to get stuff out, then it comes out in it'll come out in unexpected and inappropriate ways that generally get this vessel into trouble, in some capacity. And it's usually not the personality that got us into trouble that is having to deal with the repercussions. That's usually a different personality. So it's a fun little thing. But thank you very much for your compliment. I'm sorry I talk so much all the goddamn time. I don't know what's wrong with me. I can't help it. But no, it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear kind words. Um, I wasn't really sure how that would be received. I haven't really been checking the comments and or like anything. I've just kind of been making them and putting them out for now, because if there's one thing all the big podcasters and stuff and people who have like successful channels say, they're like, don't read the comments. You'll just be upset. And so I'm kind of sticking with that in terms of my approach. But I mean, I want to check in occasionally just to get the temperature of what people think. So I appreciate you letting me know. Um, you know, I'll I don't know. We'll see what the next one is. I'm gonna probably do on my birthday. I'll hear on the 30th, because usually things like birthdays and holidays and milestones tend to bring out uh, more personalities. So some of my friends also saw your video and they are also talking about you, and I told them, yo, I know that guy. Word. Yeah. I hope it's help. Like I mean, I didn't set out to be helpful to anyone, but I know that I'm not the only human being that deals with dissociative identity disorder, and I know from my own experience that there's a lot of people who are undiagnosed, who are holding it together because they're terrified that if they're honest about the fact that they feel like they might have more than one personality, that somebody's going to try and put them in a straitjacket or put them in a rubber room. And they're not wrong. I've not been in a straitjacket before, but I have been restrained, and I haven't been in a rubber room before. But I mean, just even having to have your arms and your legs and hands all restrained because they think you're gonna do something to yourself or someone else. Like don't ever make the mistake of spitting on someone if you're locked up or in some sort of trouble and you're angry. Don't do it. Just don't do it. First of all, it's considered biological warfare if you do that because you're putting your saliva onto another human being, and human mouths are the most disgusting things that you can possibly interact with. So just don't do it. Second of all, if you do, um, well, now you've committed assault, you biological terrorism, and they're going to give you the Hannibal Lecter mask to keep you from committing those crimes again. Um, so just don't spit on people. It's bad. It's a bad look. Don't do anything violent. You know what I mean? Just keep your make it verbal. You know, be smart. Be smart. It's it's a foolish man who relies on these to communicate his feelings. Hmm? But I wouldn't say. I mean, I'd learn how to use these mofo's, though. You know what I mean? Because some people, that's the only language they speak. You know, but peace is the way for sure. I took an oath of nonviolence. I go, man, I'm coming up on 2 years. Wow, 2 years ago, and as my New Year's resolution was, I was like, I'm done. I'm getting rid of. I don't have any guns anymore. I have a bow for hunting. I have knives for tool sake, but I don't keep get rid of all my weapons. I just feel like if somebody's going to kill me, then they're going to kill me, um, and I'm really not trying to break my nonviolence because somebody feels the need to be violent towards me. Because that says more about them than it does about me. And I've lived a great life. I'm very, I feel blessed. So tomorrow's the day I die. Somebody wants to come in and, you know, or I shouldn't say, I guess I'm not supposed to say these things, unalive me or end my story, whatever, however we're allowed to say it. That's happening tomorrow or later tonight, then I've had a great life. I am not upset. I feel worse for the people who care about me that are going to have to deal with that bullshit. I feel bad for them. But in terms of my life and me not being here anymore, man, I'm tired. you know, I mean, not that I'm giving up or anything, but I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't. A nap sounds kind of nice. you know what I mean? Maybe like maybe a jacuzzi. I'm imagining a jacuzzi on the other side. You know, I don't know. I didn't ever saw a jacuzzi or anything when I died a couple times back, but I was just up in the peaceful. I was floating in the peaceful ocean, receiving invisible hugs from the universe. It was amazing. Yeah, I mean, dude, fuck heroin, fuck fentanyl. There's nothing that comes close to the pure peace that was bestowed upon me after I tried to kill myself. And I'm not recommending anyone. It's the stupidest thing I ever did. And I regret it, and I drugged my friends and family through a bunch of bullshit. I traumatized my ex-girlfriend. She doesn't even talk to me anymore. It's like we were really close friends. I have no relationship with her anymore, and I deserve that. I traumatized her and two of my other best friends. I don't speak to them either. Drugged my family through a bunch of bullshit. Horrible. It was a horrible, foolish fucking thing I did. However, the near death experience I had where well, I guess I could just tell you guys about it. So I dove off of a third story balcony. I don't remember the year exactly. My memories are a little fuzzy, as you might imagine. 3 stories, and landed on my head on the hood of a Jeep Wrangler. Bounced off of that, and then landed shoulder first on the concrete in the in Reston in the Reston suburb of Northern Virginia, and I was just I was up in the sky, just floating in the most peaceful body of like it wasn't like water, but it just like a fluid kind of ephemera, if you will, and just warm and peace, and like I didn't have any concerns about anything. I didn't even know like anything like there were no thoughts in my head about things related to the human condition even. I was just like in such like and like you know those muscles between your shoulders that are like mine are like always tense. I can like never like let those like all the muscles like were just I mean, granted I wasn't in my body, so that might be why it felt like all my muscles were finally relaxed. But it just like the pure like relaxation and peace and like release was unparalleled. There's no drug, and I've done a lot of drugs allegedly over the course of my life. I'm sober now, but I nothing compares to that ocean of ephemera just floating there in pure peace. That's the most. Like I said, fuck heroin, fuck fentanyl, fuck any, fuck Demerol, fuck Dilaudid, Haldol, like none of it even comes close. I mean, ketamine maybe, like really good ketamine might get you pretty close, but um, even that's not really touching what I'm describing. Anyway, so I'm sitting there floating, and I am made aware, uh, not with words, just kind of like I I knew that there was this invisible sort of entity or whatever. So I can't see it, but I'm just made aware that it's there, and it's like, all right, we gotta go. We're off to the next to the next stop, and I'm like, all right. So like I'm following, floating along, following this thing I can't see, but I know is there, and I see this like out of the corner of my eye in my peripheral. I notice like it looks like there's this weird black sort of dark shadowy kind of movement that I'm and my ADHD apparently that is not relegated to just the brain. It also goes with your spirit or your soul or whatever that I was at that point up there, and and so I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like I'm fucking trying to follow this invisible entity to like, some never land, and I'm over here like, whoa, wait, let me hold on, let me look over here. There's something moving, and I look over it, and then I see I like kind of focus in on it because I can't. I'm way up high, like I can see the rooftops of the I can see the roof of the building I jumped off, the third story balcony I jumped off of. Like so I'm like up, like I don't see clouds beneath me or anything, so like I'm not quite up into the clouds, but I'm definitely above the rooftops of where I was, and so like I can't really see what this movement is, and so like I kind of like focus in more, and it's like enhance, like a photography or a telescope or something, and I kind of like zoom in, and I see that it's two gentlemen, like it looks like they're carrying a third gentleman, and so I kind of like focus in a little bit closer, and then it hits me, and it all comes back to me, what I did, the jumping off of the balcony, the killing myself, and those are my friends. Those are my 2 friends carrying my body back up into the house because they went down to get me off of the ground where I was laying, where I had pissed myself. I didn't shit myself, but I think that's just because I didn't have any shit in me. Because I think I had actually taken a dump right before I did this foolish thing. And at the time, I was on a cocktail of narcotics and alcohol, and I thought PTSD wasn't a real thing at this juncture in my life, because that's what the military told me when I was out processing, because they have an out processing thing that you go through when you're leaving the service, and the psychiatrists that I was seeing regularly during this time said that PTSD wasn't a real thing, and that this is 2005. Said that PTSD wasn't a real thing, and that none of us would ever get covered uh, for it under disability. um, Colonel Perotti, I'll never forget her name. Colonel Perotti, she'd been in 18 years and had never deployed to a combat zone in her life. And she's sitting there, a full bird colonel, telling soldiers who are coming back from a war zone, many of whom were blown up and, and worse. And she's telling them that post traumatic stress disorder is not real. And she's never been to a war zone. How fucking dumb is that? I digress. Let me get back to where I was. So, what I noticed, my friends are carrying my lifeless body, back into the house or whatever. And God, I can't even imagine the stress and they were, anyway. So, I, um, I realize like everything comes back to me, like what I did. The humanity of me like kind of like sets in, and I turn to this invisible whatever entity thing that's telling me it's time to go, and I am like, uh, I could do better. And I was like, if you send me back, I will do better. Like basically like trying to make a deal. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, if you're willing to send me back, I will do better than this as an ending. Is what I said to this invisible thing. And for whatever reason, it liked the odds, or I don't know, or it liked my moxie, or I'm not sure what, because it wasn't really communicating why, but it was like, all right, better get back into your body. That was the sentiment, not in words, obviously. It's just like a knowing that comes upon you. And I was like, oh, okay. It's like I don't know how to do any of this spirit shit. Like I've never had an astral projection. I'm not. That's not the kind of gifts that I've had in terms of magic and, my my own abilities. Just I've just never really. So anyway, so I don't know how. Like, so I start swimming. Right. I mean, that's the first thing I thought of was swim. Like, so I'm like trying to fucking breaststroke and doggy paddle any way I can get movement towards my body. I'm putting all and oh my god, not having a body does not mean that it is not exhausting trying to navigate a distance. At least that was my experience. I was probably doing everything wrong because I had no idea what to do. I just knew I needed to get this, the invisible guy taking me to whatever was supposed to be next said I better get back in my body, so I better do that. And I struggled and struggled, and it got to the point where I was like right like next to my body, but I couldn't figure out how to get in. Like you know what I mean? It's a weird thing to think about, but like I'm outside. Okay, I'm right here. Here the fucking vessel. Like how do I get in? Um, and I'm like, and the whole while, like my one of my friends, his name's Jimmy, is like has me in the bathroom, is helping clean me up, like 'cause I pissed all over myself and I had puke and blood and stuff, like 'cause I perforated both my eardrums. I had a basilar skull fracture, so that's right where your lower jawbone meets the upper part of your skull. I fractured both sides right through here, and then perforated both eardrums, blood, synovial fluid, like one of my eyes, the white of my eye was all complete. Like I looked like a demon. The whites of my eyes were just filled with blood. Plus my pupils were like, and anyway, so I'm trying to figure out how to get back. And he's over, like he's behind me because I'm floating in front of my body, trying to figure out how to get in it. But so his physical vessel is standing kind of like behind where I'm like hovering, and he's like giving me I can hear him giving me shit, like giving my vessel me, right? So not me, the floating spirit thing, but the vessel me, he's giving it shit. I'm like, are you fucking serious, bro? I just dove off of a third story balcony. Clearly I'm having some fucking problems, man, and you're giving me shit. And I got angry. When I got angry, it sucked me right back into the body. And then I came to, and I had grabbed Jimmy up under his fucking lapels, and he's a littler guy than me, and I like lifted him up and was like, "Rrr," and then I calmed down and like set him back down. I was like, holy shit, I'm back. And he even said that. He goes, oh my god. He's like, I saw you come back. I saw it. Like his eyes were like this big, and I was like, yeah, well, fuck, dude. And then the pain. Oh my god, did the pain come? All that warm, floating up in peace and muscles all relaxed. Yeah, that's done. Now all my muscles are like is the most tense they've ever felt in my life, and I'm just like I can't my jaw at all, right? And both my ears are like ringing in ways I can't even fucking like multi-tone fucking nonsense. Yeah, dude, it was pretty rough. And my ex-girlfriend who I was really close with at the time, Kate, I didn't even realize yet because I'm still shell shocked from smashing my fucking from getting in a fight with the earth and losing. Um, I don't even realize how badly I fucked up yet. And then I didn't go to the hospital because I already knew what was going to happen if I did that. I waited a couple days and then I went in to make sure there wasn't any kind of because it's a head injury, man. Like you don't there you could die days later of some complication. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't gonna have an aneurysm or some other fuckery, blood clots. You know what I mean? And but I didn't want to go like the day of or the day after because I felt like they were gonna try to put me in the loony bin. And I've been on the floor with no where you can't have sharp objects and shit. And if you're not really crazy, it's not a place you want to be. I mean, it's like scary. People are scary crazy in real loony bins. It's not like the movies. Um, and I have a story about that too, actually. But uh, anyway, so like yeah, the pain came back. The stiffness, having a vessel again, like just being like feeling the full uh, weight of my actions, all at once like that. That was lovely. And then, of course, that was the last time I saw Kate. And my mom, when she seen me, like, when I finally got home, um, and I was honest. I'm not a liar. I do practice radical honesty. I just tell the truth all the time. And some people hate me for it. Other people think it's an admirable quality. It's kind of a 50-50 toss. But that's what I do because I damage my memory in such a capacity that I have difficulty remembering what I'm doing while I'm doing it sometimes, let alone trying to remember a lie consistently across the board to everyone or to certain people and not fuck that, dude. I am not even going to try to play such a game. I didn't like lying before I had my head injury, and I damn sure have no business being involved with it now. So, uh, wasn't really like a huge adjustment for me, but just I'm not missing. I don't feel like I'm missing out not being somebody who can lie anymore at all. I'm grateful that I can't. Makes my life much easier and simpler. Um, but yeah, my mom was like, she was pretty ruthless about it because this wasn't the first time I tried to kill myself, and she was like, look, at a certain point, you need to figure out what the fuck you're doing. You need to either get busy living or get busy dying. Because this dragging your friends and family through the kind of emotional whiplash is bullshit. I was like, Jesus, I'm just told you I fucking smacked, like, this happened the other night. Like, I don't even get 20. She's like, no. She's like, you might have got like, all the, like, the soft, response back when you were 17 and you tried some bullshit. But she's like, you're 20, 25, 26 years old. You're an adult. Fucking, if you want to be dead, go kill yourself. But do it right and get the job done so the rest of us can continue on with our lives without having to be drugged through your bullshit anymore. Damn, mom. Yeah, yes, ma'am. I will figure I chose living. I wanted to live. And you know, and I have some the way I look at it, as long as I don't try to kill myself, I've done better than the way I went out or the way I would have gone out. But I mean to do way better than just not killing myself. Like, I, I got a house. I did something with some of my disability money that would set me up for success, and I've tried to pay it forward ever since I've been in this position where I have a house to try and pay it forward to others who are on the struggle. So when I've had people stay with me, I don't charge them rent. I don't charge them utilities because I know how difficult life is when you're constantly just trying to make ends meet and you're just constantly trying to keep the lights on and food on the table and making sure you have gas in the car and the bills, they don't stop, and there's just and this system is designed for you to fail. Let's be honest. All right, I'm not absolving people of their responsibility to put in effort, but this system is rigged, yo. Like real talk, rigged. And you can't like there's no way you're gonna anybody can live off of even the middle class salary, for what they give people. Like you gotta have a side hustle. Like there's no just one job anymore. Like you can have a job. Maybe there's some people are blessed and they get those jobs where they get six figures. I don't know what that's like. I've never like my disability is the most amount of money I've legally made in my life. This is like right now I am making the most amount of money per year that I've ever gotten. And I'm not making it. Have it I have an allowance from the government because I have seizures and my spine is all fucked up and I have kidney problems and like I piss kidney stones so frequently it's fucking stupid. I've had kidney failure or been in the almost had kidney failure several times. I mean, I have a number of health. It's like actually it's not a number. I have several stacks of paperwork um, of health challenges um, that are not even related to me trying to kill myself. They're related to shit that happened to me while I was in the military and overseas. Um, so I mean, I don't know when the Reaper's gonna come back for me, but I don't foresee myself, barring some sort of amazing stem cell breakthrough. I don't. I'm not expecting myself to go maybe even past 60. If I'm just trying to outlive my biological father right now, because that's on my bucket list, and he died at 42. So I turned 42 this year on the 30th, and I won't have outlived him for my birthday. So December 30th of his 42nd year. And so I'm not sure exactly how many months I gotta go before I will have outlived him as a 42-year-old, but I know that by the time I hit 43, I will have checked off my bucket list, outlive your biological father. And so that's something I aim to do. So I'm taking it one day at a time, and I'm trying to be healthier, and I've been learning how to be more of an adult and less of an impulsive man child. So that's been neat. Um, Not that anybody is sympathizing with impulsive man children, but least of all me, you know, it's a fucking burden on society. But you know, I think if you stay positive and you operate out of a place that is from love, rather than fear. Positivity and love will get you like most of the way, has been my experience. If you can throw in some forgiveness in there, because you're gonna run into people who are gonna do dastardly shit that is unconscionable, is what I've learned. There's no way around it, especially if you're trying to if you're genuinely trying to pay things forward and give to people. People are gonna do fucked up shit to you. Um, Part of it's the parlance of our times. Part of it is just the nature of like people see somebody like giving and opening themselves up to be vulnerable with people, and they're like, well, look at this idiot, he just turned, man, you have to take his shit. He's not even trying to protect himself. He didn't even have a gun. You know what I mean? Like, so there's going to be those people, the opportunists, and the I call them shit weasels. That's my person, the opportunistic shit weasel. There's a lot of them, and and they just have, that's where they're at on their path. I'm not even begrudging those people or trying to uh, use that terminology as a derogatory towards them. I'm just saying that's where you're at in terms of your vibration. You're at the opportunistic shitweasel stage, and I've been there. We've all been there at some point. It's, you know what I mean. You gotta be an opportunistic shitweasel to so you can learn that that's what you are, and then decide whether or not you're cool with it, or you want to aspire to not be an opportunistic shit weasel, right? It's all part of the process. Um, but yeah, you're going to run into those people, especially if you're trying to help people, and you're trying to help the right people, because the opportunistic shit weasels are the people who need help. So, um, you know, the key is minimizing the losses that you're taking. Like, you want to take controlled, planned losses. Like, you don't leave stuff out that you can't bear never seeing again if you're going to try to help junkies, right? Because they're going to steal shit. So if you can't live without it, you better put it someplace where it's not around where you live. Get a storage unit, someplace that's locked up and shit. Because if you don't, the people you live with, if you're trying to live with junkies and help them out, they're going to steal from you. So best to have things they can't sell. Stuff like that. Like, you learn these things along the way, depending on what type of people you're trying to help. And I'd argue that if you're actually trying to help people who need help, you're probably either helping, junkies, felons, mentally, people with mental and psychological challenges, um, people with just trauma, man, lots of trauma, and those people tend to be erratic and have a myriad of different kinds of cluster B issues, as they like to say, cluster B, the borderlines and the bipolars and what have you. They're the difficult ones. Not according to me. That's what the doctors think. Me, I forget, what did Colonel Perotti diagnose me as? She said I was a antisocial, antisocial. I had, like, that I exhibited antisocial behavior, borderline personality, and narcissistic tendencies. That's what her diagnosis of me was upon leaving the military. Immediately, once I got a doctor at one of the VA hospitals, well, not immediately, but the first good doctor I had at the Ann Arbor, oh man, Dr. Dykema, she was awesome. She's one of the first doctors that helped me um, get my disability rating in a place where it needed to be. Because turns out PTSD is very fucking real. And not only did I have some wicked PTSD, but I also had this shit called survivor's guilt. I didn't know what the fuck that was. You know how I learned about survivor's guilt? Watching a Dennis Leary show uh, about the firefighters during 9/11. That's how I learned about Survivor's Guild, and I'm watching the show and I'm going, holy shit, that's what I have. That's me. I'm that guy. Like doing dangerous shit because I feel guilty that I'm alive still. Like doing riskier and riskier shit. I didn't even realize that that was like textbook, you know, Survivor's Guild stuff. So, you know, it's a learning process, but yeah, I don't know. It was that. So that was my worst suicide attempt. That I almost was successful. I had to fight to get back in my body, and I'm glad I did. And I try to be the best me I can be every day. And you know, I've like I said, I'm 2 years. I haven't had any violent anything in almost 2 years. Um, I'm still kind of rough around the edges for people in terms of my of the things that I'll talk about because radical honesty, you know, and I say fucking shit and all sorts of bad words that are hard for some people. Um, I don't know. I do my freestyle rap therapy, obviously. I also do art therapy. I do a lot of therapy. Most of my time is spent um, if I'm not going to doctors or working on um, either legal or medical stuff. I spend my time trying to do as much creative, uh, have as many creative outlets as possible because creativity is the closest thing to happiness that I've uh, ever experienced, I think. Um, so um, I find that if I'm being creative, like I feel good and I have something to show for it usually. And I give a lot of my stuff that I end up making away um, to people who either are like, oh man, I love that. Like they see a painting that I have on the wall or whatever. And somebody's like, oh man, that's awesome. Or like they keep, or I see them while we're hanging out and they keep ending up right near a painting that they've expressed that they like. I'll usually give it to them. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, clearly you are taken with this piece of art, and people should have art. It shouldn't be something that is only for wealthy assholes who can afford to throw 10 grand at a, you know, at a 16 by 20-inch canvas. Come on, dude. Like I sell my most of mine sell for under $100, and they're bigger than 16 by 20 usually. If I have a really small one, like something that's like a 11 by 14, $20, yo. You got $20? That painting can be yours. And I don't do two of anything. Like I don't make copies of anything. I don't try to duplicate the same painting. I don't do that. So everything's a one-off. It's a one done original. Everything you get is a one of a kind original from me. So I think that's, you know, I don't know, maybe when I'm dead it might be worth some money or something. Um, Depending on how many of these things survive. Which do you ever think about that? Like all the Da Vinci's and the Van Goghs and stuff, those are the ones that survived. Imagine how many there were, though, because I promise you, there are shitloads that were destroyed, didn't make it, got lost, got, you know, soiled in some capacity, and just, you know, into obscurity. Into the ephemera it goes. Oh man, George W is my blockout screen. Yeah, I'm George W. Bush. Yeah, she had to go back and finish what Daddy Bush started over in Kuwait. I don't know why I make him sound like a goblin, but it's kind of in my mind that's what he sounds like. like a like a cowboy on cocaine with a broken nose. All right. All right, we're at an hour and 15 minutes. What do you guys? I know there's like two or three of you guys out there. You guys, you think I should wrap it up here, or you guys want me to keep rambling on about the stupid things I've done in my past. I think maybe we wrap this up an hour and 15. That's a decent amount. That's a chunk of time. Yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna maybe call it then. Unless anybody has any questions, I'll leave it open for any last questions if anybody has any. But by 1:20, I'm gonna try to wrap this up. I don't know if you guys can see how much time has elapsed. It's like right in my face. So, oh, cool. My top fan, man. You're my number one, man. Ali, that's what's up, yo. Good looks. Appreciate you. Mad love. Seriously. I don't know. Can I give you like a smiley face or something? I give you like. Can I like your posts? What do I do? What do I do here? What do I do with my hands? What can I do with my hands? Oh no, I don't want to do that. What does this do? No, I don't want to do that either. Ah! Oh my god. Maybe I shouldn't touch anything. Because I'm just breaking everything. Alright, well, it seems like everybody's pretty good for the evening. So, unless there's anything else pressing, I think it's been lovely talking to y'all. And I plan to be back on the 30th for a dissociative confessions. Look, man, I've already forgotten the whole title of it, but I have it all written down in the book. It's written in the book. See, the memory's not great, but the book is good. My writing, my note taking, that's how I survive. That and a lot of strange diagrams with many arrows going all over the place. It's like a to-do list, but the numbers are all out of order, and there's arrows, lots of arrows. That's how I survive in this world. Arrows, to-do lists. Yeah. And then a lot of creative therapy opportunities. So, y'all be good, and I hope the holidays have treated y'all well so far. And the 30th, I will be doing another live, doing one of my dump your purse out dissociative things, as it were. You know what I mean? Fuck off. Alright, yo. Mad love. I just hit the X. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yeah.